Welcome to Forum 360 on PBS Western Reserve. I'm Stephanie York, your host today. Thank you for joining us for a global outlook with a local view. Recently, Jewish Akron has made some changes and additions to their team. And with those changes, we've seen unique and engaging programming and a rise in community engagement. Today, I'm excited to be here with Sam Chestnut, Jewish Akron's new Chief Programming Officer, and Rami Feinstein, an Israeli singer-songwriter who is now living in Akron with his family and working as Akron Shliach. What's a Shliach, you ask? Well, let's find out. Thank you, Sam and Rami, for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So, Sam, we're going to start with you. You're Jewish Akron's first Chief Programming Officer. Tell me a little bit about your background and what this position is.
Yeah, so I still maintain a role as head of school at the Lippman School, which I've been for 12 years now. But the Chief Program Officer role is new this year. And Jewish Akron decided it would be worthwhile to invest in trying to bring some of the special programming that we do in certain elements of the campus to the full community and even broader community. So I'm really excited to be a part of the campus in a new way, even though I've been around the campus in a variety of ways for 12 years.
So you've been doing programming for the Lippman School for many years now. Tell us about some of the unique programming you did for Lippman that you found that the greater Akron community is enjoying.
Yeah, I think one of the special things about the Lippman School is that it has this Jewish foundation, but that there's a lot of opportunity to connect with other cultural or religious groups. So we have a couple of things based on that community members beyond the school have gotten excited about and gotten involved in. One is a partnership with the Northern Cheyenne community in Montana. So tribal students and educators come to Akron every fall, and our students have gone to the reservation every other spring. As we brought tribal educators to the Akron community, we worked with Summit County Historical Society to kind of shine a brighter light on the Portage Path, which is an important historical marker of Native interest right in our hometown here. And community members started to get involved in that sort of programming. So one outgrowth of that is something we call an Elder Wisdom Academy. Members of the kind of elder community or senior community, as some call them, wanted to get involved in sort of learning from Jewish practice and indigenous practice about what it means to be an elder in the community. So that's an example of something that may have started at the school, but has a much wider application for sort of intergenerational learning.
Well, I can see why they wanted you to be the Chief Programming Officer. I mean, that sounds like an awesome program. Rami, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yes, so I feel like I should be asking for your autograph or something,
Oh,
right? At some point I will, yes.
Absolutely should.
So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you ended up in Akron, Ohio.
Well, I'm a musician, like you know, and I'm also, years ago I dealt with, I was an education officer in the Army, and I think I spent my 20s in education, and my 30s in marketing. So I've done a bunch of things to pay the bills while I'm doing my music.
Sure, and that's an Israeli Army you're talking about.
Of course, yes, yes. And I was born in the States, but I lived most of my life in Israel.
Okay.
And for the past 10 years, I've been coming to tour the States, many different places, but also Jewish communities. And my new album is in English. Okay. So some radio stations kind of picked up some of the songs and started playing it. And then I get to this radio station in Akron, Ohio, that likes my music and plays it. And the manager that I was working with at the time said, "Why don't you go and have an interview?" And I went. That was March 22.
Okay.
And then my manager says, "You know, the anchor, his name is Brad Savage. He has a few kids in the Jewish school. Can you go to the Jewish school and say, 'Hi, I'm an Israeli,' and kind of talk to the kids?" And it's not something I really do a lot, but I didn't want to be rude. So so I said, "Yeah, sure." I mean, the guy's playing my songs.
Sure.
I want to be, yeah. And I went to the school, and that's where I met Sam. And and then we had a nice kind of meeting, and then I was invited to perform for the Jewish community in the Israeli Independence Day 2 months later in May.
Okay.
And then I was driving with Sam. He took me from the airport, and he said, when he learned that I'm an American citizen, he said, I may have a job offer for you. And he asked if I'm willing to be the Israeli shaliach, which means emissary.
Okay.
That means that that's a position in the Jewish community, that someone that comes from Israel to the Jewish community and is in charge of kind of strengthening the connections between the people, the Jewish people in that community, and Israel.
Sure.
And that's a very kind of wide definition that we can obviously take to many, many places. The obvious is education and programming, but also even just the personal relationships and just getting to know people and being a part of everything that happens here, which kind of goes well with me being a musician as well.
Absolutely, because what brings people together more than music, right? So Sam, we've had shliachs before.
Yep.
Tell me about that program. We've had it, we haven't had it. How's that work?
So probably feels like about 20 to 25 years ago. I was actually a teacher on campus many moons ago. I remember when the first shliachim came from Israel to Akron, and they would sometimes spend a year, sometimes 2 years, occasionally 3 years. And actually, it was sort of that COVID time that severed that moment. There was a lot of change happened everywhere with COVID, and we didn't renew a shliach at that time. He went back to Israel, and we just, as a community, just weren't sure what to do.
Right.
And so, what was exciting about Rami is that most of the shlichim we have brought in the past were often in their 20s, sort of young professionals, sometimes right out of the army, sort of thinking about what to do next. And with Rami, you have a mature professional who has not just talents as a musician and someone who brings people together with music, but a background in education and marketing that has been really helpful for our campus in many, many ways. And he's just a really creative professional and creative human, and he brings a real energy to the campus and to our community.
So seasoned, you mean he's old?
Absolutely. That's exactly
He looks
what
like
he
he's
said.
in his 20s.
That's exactly what he said.
I mean, you look
That's
like
so rude.
right? I mean,
So
come
rude.
on,
Yeah,
Sam.
I come here to America for what? For people to say that I'm old.
Right.
My
Seasoned.
self-esteem.
Seasoned.
That's it.
That's
what
all
we
right.
want.
So you came here with your family, correct?
Yes.
Tell
with
me
my
about
wife.
them and how's the transition been?
Well, my wife and my 2 kids, my wife Soli and Mayo, my boy that is 7 years old, he's going to be 8 very soon, and Libby that is 5. And we came here, and my kids are in Lippman,
Nice.
and they like it.
Good.
All in all, we like it here. It's an adjustment. It's different.
Right.
We were disappointed that that Akron has no Costco nearby. We like
There's
Costco
Sam's Club.
a lot,
I mean, come on.
and we feel like Sam's Club is kind of
Okay.
maybe.
What about
but
the
not
food
exactly.
in America?
And the food, there's a lot of things that we like. We definitely like the junk food.
We do have a lot of
but
junk
we
food,
feel
don't
that
we?
we really need to kind of be aware to not be really fat.
Oh, yeah.
And we really need to kind of, because it's hard, and I feel like everywhere I go, there's people kind of giving me food all the time, sweets and a lot of pizza also.
Right.
So yeah, but the most important thing is to be serious for a second is the warm welcoming that we got from the community, from the Jewish community, and in general in Akron. For me as an artist,
Right.
but also as a shaliach. The warm welcoming and the kind of how open-minded
Sure.
people were, and you felt like some people were actually waiting for this to renew this connection with Israel. And
I think so.
I'm very proud and very glad to be a part of.
We're glad you're here too. Music brings people together, but so does food. People like
Right.
to break bread together. So I think when
Absolutely.
people are offering you food at every occasion, it's because
Absolutely.
it's something that everyone can enjoy.
I was not. I don't know if it
Yeah.
sounded like
No,
I was
no.
complaining, but I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I
but
just
you
want
just gotta be careful, right?
Yeah, fly back to Israel, not roll back to Israel.
I get it.
In a few years, yeah.
So how important is community engagement, Sam, and how do you see Rami engaging in the not just the Jewish community, but the greater community?
Yeah, I mean, it's critical. I think that in America, and certainly probably worldwide, but speaking from our American experience, I think that we have become more and more siloed and isolated as communities generally. And, America has such a rich tapestry of diversity. And the Lippman School, yes, a Jewish school, but about half the kids aren't Jewish and come from all kinds of faiths and backgrounds, which is just like our campus. Our campus, it's the Jewish campus in town, but it serves the greater Akron, Summit County community, from people from all kinds of backgrounds, et cetera. So I think that what we see with engagement is that, yes, it's important for Rami and I and others to work with the Jewish community. It's equally important for us to engage with those who aren't Jewish, to understand who we are and our story, our connection to Israel, our work for sort of our rights in this country, and helping others who have had similar struggles in America in terms of holding on to their identity and all of that. So as an example, maybe the best example recently is that Wadsworth High School was putting on Fiddler on the Roof. And so they brought Rami and I to the high school, to their performing arts class, to talk to them about what was life like for Jews in Europe in the
That is awesome.
late 1900s, early 1900s.
Because you were around then, right?
You're right. Well,
and they also asked questions about the Jewish people today.
Awesome.
Like, and some questions were like really, they were great kids, so nice and so talented, incredibly. And then they asked you a question like, do all Jews have to get married?
Well, and it's interesting because they're putting on this production that has such a rich history.
Yes.
Right.
And they don't know the history. And so they have to portray this history to everyone, and they're trying to get that background and a flavor of it.
And what was really cool is they knew they could reach out to our campus and have some resources
Really
like Rami
cool.
and I come and educate them. And I don't think there was a Jewish student in the group there. It didn't seem to be the case. I'm not certain of that,
Sure.
but it's probably 60 kids, and we got to talk about real things, history and also contemporary issues, and they did an amazing job. So
Yes.
And
they were really interested in learning about
That's great.
Jews today. Like,
And they put on that production for the community, their school community.
It was great.
So it was for
and I was there. They
everyone.
were fabulous. It was amazing. It was like very moving to watch them do this and
awesome.
try to do things we had actually talked about with them. They brought certain symbols forward and did certain things that came out of the conversation we had with them, which was cool.
I got goosebumps. That's
Yeah.
that's really
cool.
amazing. So any other programs you've done outside of the Jewish community that you can think of?
well, we I don't know if it's we can announce it yet, but we have it's been announced just yet that we have a celebration for Israel 75.
Yes, tell us about that.
And we're going to have Matisiyahu come to Akron, which is a big deal because he's a very well-known Jewish artist.
I think he had a top
worldwide.
10 song
Oh yeah,
at one
he's
point.
worldwide and very, very big. And I'm going to be opening for him, which is pretty cool also for me.
Very cool.
And I
For
hope
all
for
of
the
us.
rest of the people that come.
Sure.
And I just got a phone call this morning from. I really wanted to have like a community feeling.
Yes.
The show, because I feel like everybody should be celebrating Israel is 75. I feel like it's a miracle that we have a Jewish state in this world. It's an amazing thing for everybody, and Jews and non-Jews can be also happy about it.
Right.
And there's a church that I really wanted their gospel choir to just join me for that show, and have the music bring us together and celebrate together. And just had a call this morning that they said yes, that they're very interested in participating in the show. So very excited about that. And hopefully when people come, where's the camera? May 7th. So they'll get multicultural
That'll be amazing.
experience, and we're all going to be celebrating together.
Absolutely. I'd like to remind our viewers and those who may have joined late that we're here with Sam Chestnut, Jewish Akron's Chief Programming Officer and Head of Lippman School, and Rami Feinstein, Jewish Akron's resident Israeli rock star and shaliach. That's his new title I just gave him. And we are talking about the new programs Jewish Akron has been providing and how Jewish Akron is engaging the entire community. And that May 7th program, having a gospel choir come in and do a show with you as an opening act, part of it would be just amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Right. So what are the highlights and what are the lowlights so far since you've been here in Akron?
I think the highlights are the for me personally is the friendships that in a very short time that we have new friends and new connections with people. This is what is important for me as a musician, as a person, as an Israeli, to just get to meet people and have coffee with them and just make new friends. So that's for me is like the best part, and obviously from my family to experience something new and feel very welcomed in this community.
Absolutely.
What are the lows? I would say it's a little bit of an adjustment in terms of the weather.
Oh.
Maybe a little.
We still adjust every season.
I wouldn't call it a low because people we just from the moment the day that we came here, people have been apologizing for the weather and warning us about the weather. And I don't think this winter was so bad.
It wasn't, but the spring has been pretty bad so far.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. I thought it would be this terrible experience of winter, for a few months, very aggressive. It was kind of.
We have a saying.
And we liked the snow, and we liked it. We played outside.
Okay.
We made a snow. How do you say? Gender fluid something. I don't know if it was a man or a woman. I'm not sure.
A snow person.
The snow person. And it was great.
Well, we have a saying, if you don't like the weather, just wait 10 minutes, it'll change.
Ah,
right?
Good.
From morning till evening, right? So, Sam, if you had a magic wand and enough money, what programming would you do?
That's a great question. I would love to create programs where more and more people are going to Israel because I think that is, I know, having brought students and adults, Jewish and non-Jewish in both categories, to Israel for 10 days to 2 weeks, it's really transformative. You don't have to be a religious or spiritual person to have it be really eye-opening and kind of culture shifting in terms of how you see the world. It's the birthplace of 3 major world religions, and when you're there, the way that the Israeli government has structured things, you really can experience all of that, which is amazing. And the trips that we've taken with students, we do that. We want to make sure that they understand that Israel is a place for everyone. It's certainly the homeland of the Jewish people, the only homeland of the Jewish people. That's critical, but it's also a place that everyone should visit. It really is an amazing place. And seeing Rami and being with Rami and his family is close to being in Israel, but it's not the same. It's not the same.
And also to see that Israel is maybe different than what is sometimes portrayed in the media or by some organizations with a very specific agenda. So to come and experience Israel for what it is.
Yeah. So that's something you'd like to do. You think you see that in the future, maybe?
Yeah,
Sort of.
There have been historically some adult trips. The Lippman School every other year is taking students to Israel. In fact, this spring we're taking our 7th and 8th graders there. So there's some consistent over once in a while Israel experiences.
Right.
I think if the community could do more of that, that would be amazing. And that that does take money. That's expensive.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can you crack out your guitar and play us a little something? Give us a taste of what you do in your spare time?
I happen to have my guitar here.
Wonderful. Do you carry it with you pretty much everywhere?
No.
No. It's not attached to you.
No.
Is this an original?
Let it be known when you fall on your face, you bounce back stronger. New age slogans are good to embrace, but it's hard to remember them now. The world is filled with colors, you see black and gray. You think of what the universe has to say. Life, it's gotta mean something. It's gotta mean something good. It's gotta mean something. It's gotta mean something good. It's gotta mean something. It's gotta mean something good. It's gotta mean something. I just don't know what it is yet.
I love that. Yay, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Is that an original?
It's an original, yes.
Nice. Is that one that's been played on the radio yet?
Yeah. The Summit has been playing that song.
My husband said he heard it on the radio.
Okay.
So he said, I heard Rami on the radio. That's pretty cool.
It's gotta mean something, and that's the name of my English album. Yes.
Awesome. How many songs are on it? How many tracks?
12 songs.
Are they're all originals then?
Yeah. I only do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so your band that you play with, they travel with you? They're here in the States? They're from Israel? Like, what kind of band do you have?
Well, obviously, when I came here, I had to kind of get a new band.
Sure.
Because I couldn't fly my Israeli musicians to every show. I would lose a lot of money.
Sure. I can see that.
But I've been lucky to meet amazing local musicians from Akron and make some new friends, and we've had a few shows already, and so far so good.
Awesome. Tell me how you juggle your music career and the shliach role. Like, how's that working? And is there, a blending of it? Is it separated? Tell me about it.
Well, I think once you're an independent musician, it's not like you can really separate it. Like, those hours I do this. You have to kind of balance everything, and have a very patient wife at home, and yeah, I feel like some days I'm like, okay, I haven't done this and that for my music. I have to find a few hours to do that now.
Right.
And I kind of do that during the day or in the evening or whatever. And some days it's the opposite. And it's really a matter of just keeping the balance in your head. There's no like really strict schedule that you can do. It's really all mixed up. And sometimes it's it's the same thing. Like so if I'm performing at Israel 75, am I doing it as a shaliach or a musician? Probably both.
Absolutely.
And I love it that it's both, because it's two things that I really, really have a strong connection to. And what I like about this whole situation, for me personally, is that for a few years, many years, I used to do my music and then do this other thing to pay the bills. And here, and so I would have a very strong emotional connection to one thing that I'm doing, and the other thing I'm just really, really about how I pay the bills. And and here, there's really two things that kind of complete each other that I really have a strong emotional connection to. So I feel very lucky at this point.
You get to go to work and do what you love.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, Sam, because
I would be with Sam every day.
Oh, good, bad, I don't know. No. So let me ask you, because looking from the outside, having Rami as a shliach coming in and talking to students and elders and doing community events, but he's also doing this rock star stuff.
Yeah.
I see him, when he's doing that rock star stuff, it just brings more attention to the Jewish community and Israel and everything that you want to promote.
Yeah, I think what's really special about Rami is that, first of all, he's spending most of his time as a shliach, because I'm in the office with him all the time. So we're spending a lot of, it's not a 50-50 proposition. Right. He's spending more than a 40-hour work week on just being a shliach. However,
and weekends.
And weekends, right.
I've seen you at weekend events.
A lot of weekend events. But when there is a musical moment, whether that's a both moment or just him performing at the night stage in Akron as a musician, he's just shining a light on Jewish Akron in a special way that no other shaliach or shlichim group have in the past. They've gotten involved in things that were a part of their heart, but not in the way that Rami is really connecting to the community through music and his singing and the story that he tells. So in his music are connections to Israel that are sometimes subconscious or underneath the scenes, and occasionally funny stories that he'll tell that really do connect people to his experience, and then ultimately to Jewish Akron, which is to me is just a great benefit and a real plus in the whole experience.
And I think when you look at it from the side, it's very easy to kind of think, well, maybe there's tension between those two. What's going to take more of his time in this and that?
Right.
And I feel I'm very lucky that Sam and other people in this community, and Daniel, which was here in this show with you, right?
He was.
That their approach is that it's not something that is like contradicting. It's something
Absolutely.
that complements each other, and I feel like some people in this community are kind of rooting for me to be successful as a musician, and not like being like this, oh, if he's going to be successful as a musician, maybe he's not going to be such a good shaliach. But it's kind of, I feel like we've gotten to a point where there's enough confidence and trust that we're kind of...
I want to be able to say, I knew him when.
Exactly.
We had him when.
Exactly.
So, real brief, because we're going to have to end this.
Yeah.
I would like to know if someone wants to see you perform or come to a community event, where's the best way to follow you guys?
Go to the Jewish Akron website and you can look at events that are coming up, and many of them are for...
And the Jewish Akron Facebook, that's for the Jewish community. And
yeah.
for me personally, is everywhere.
Okay.
Sam is like an anti-social media person. He has a Facebook, but he doesn't post anything.
Okay.
But I'm out there all the time, and I have Facebook, Instagram, everything.
You can find
YouTube,
Rami and Jewish
Spotify.
Akron
Yeah.
all over.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sam and Rami, for a great discussion about Jewish programming in Akron. Who knew we had an Israeli rock star living here, and how lucky are we? Thank you again for your dedication to the community and for providing all of us in Akron unique and engaging programming. I'm Stephanie York. Thank you for joining us today on Forum 360 for a global outlook with a local view.
Forum 360 is brought to you by John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, the Akron Community Foundation, Hudson Community Television, the Rubber City Radio Group, Shaw Jewish Community Center of Akron, Blue Green, Electric Impulse Communications, and Forum 360 supporters.